Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining our Enlightenment Through Meditation session, 6 o'clock every Saturday, our California time. Thank you so much for joining. And once again, I would like to thank everyone who takes the time to join in into these sessions. I always look forward to, but it's always good to know that there are people, friends, relatives who take the time to watch these sessions. In these sessions, we talk about self awareness because self awareness is something that when it comes, it doesn't mean that we go and become loner or we go to the mountains and practice it over there. It really means that our awareness gets higher, and as it gets higher, we still lead our day to day life, but in a more practical way, in a more de-stressful way, if there is a word like that, because everybody is stressed. So once our awareness has gone higher, we should be able to handle our day-to-day life much easier, much better, because we understand more and more the divine law. And that's what these sessions are based on. They are mainly driven towards leading a life which is a peaceful life, it's a loving life, and that leads to happiness. And who in this world doesn't want to be happy? So today we are going to concentrate on self-awareness. Why are we frustrated? Because majority of the time we must have experienced in life that whoever we want to talk to, they're already frustrated. They don't have the time to say, talk to me or not talk to me, because we are rushing and we have so many things on our plate that we cannot really finish it all. And as a result, frustration automatically comes in. And when we are talking to someone about it, it's harder because they are also having a lot of things to do. We have a lot of things to do, and the frustration automatically comes in, and it can lead to bigger problems that we even ever anticipate. So basically, we will cover that when we are frustrated, we have low self-esteem, we have a lot of lack of motivation, we get into depression, and sometimes we also have a lot of panic attacks because we are panicking under the influence of mind. And then we will go over how our inner self takes us out of this situation, because we need to remember the whole purpose of our life is to be happy. So if we accomplished a lot, or we thought we accomplished a lot, but at the end we are not happy, did we really? We need to think about that and then take it from there. So how all this relates to our inner awareness, and why inner awareness may be necessary, which is self-realization, is necessary to pull us out of all these trouble. So let's go over one by one that why are we frustrated and how does it takes us to low esteem. And it's very important because human being is a social animal. We all like to socialize, we like to go out, share, love, and be happy together and all those things. When we have the low self-esteem, it becomes very hard for us to socialize. So why does low esteem come into being? Why? And that's a major question in today's environment, because we see so many things that we look up to and we want to be like that, but we cannot. And that leads to a lot of frustration, as we all know. So the question comes that should we really get frustrated? And when we look up to whoever we look up to, is it necessary to become like that? We have done a lot of sessions in the past where we have talked about acceptance, because acceptance is an inner treasure. As the mind's ego self starts to go down, because it says, I need to be that, I need to be that, I want to become like that. It's all mind that wants, because it wants, it is expecting, and when it is not happening, it leads to a lot of frustration. When the frustration comes, we cannot accomplish that. Our mind tells us, you are defeated, you are lower than others. So a comparison comes for no reason. Those people whom we are trying to follow or copy or keep them as our role model, we are not there to compete with them, but our minds dictates us to, you should be like them. So when we start to meditate, go in within ourselves, and we realize more of ourselves, we get more and more into acceptance that we are made the way we are, and we need to do the best for what we can do. There is no point in copying, trying to do good, or trying to say that we are good and we are not, because that is again a lot of stress. When we have stress, it's going to bring our body down, it will bring our mental self down, and emotion self down. And when all these three are going downhill, then we cannot be excited, we cannot be happy, because we could not accomplish what we wanted, and we feel defeated. And it's all driven by mind, although we know that mind is given to us to utilize, but mind should be used for our benefit, not to tell us that you are defeated, you are no good, you did not come up to that standard, so there is nothing inside you that you can do any better. That doesn't work for us that well. So what happens as we start going to our inner self and realizing our treasures of acceptance and satisfaction in what we have, and trying to make best out of it, suddenly we realize we are not in competition anymore, which we don't need to be in the first place, but we think we need to. We are, because we are trying to get to a certain point which we may or may not get, but during that journey that we are trying to accomplish, we get very stressed. So therefore, to stay away from frustration, the inner awareness, inner connection is very, very important. As soon as we start to get connected, we notice that we are pacifying ourselves. We are getting into that acceptance which tells us, accept what you have, accept what you are, and do the best for yourself. Because if you notice a tree has roots, and tree can be a big tree can be small tree, there can be very small plants, there are plants which are like one leaf only, there are succulents, there are so many things, but they are not fighting, because they are enjoying where they are, but each one of them is connected through their root system to the earth, where they are taking all the nutrients, and therefore they are happy. A little plant is happy and a huge tree is also happy, but the source of nutrition is coming from the earth for both of them, right? So that is how it works. When we start realizing that we are good for what we are, not necessarily that we don't want to progress, but within our capacities, what we can accomplish, a small step but a solid step at one time is good for us, and we start moving forward. Therefore, this low self-esteem that I cannot do, I am not like them, I should not be going out, this all starts to go down, and we start feeling better because we have accepted that what we are. Same thing, lack of motivation. We try sometimes things to do, and then we try it one time, we don't succeed. We try next time, we don't succeed. And here goes our motivation down. Because what happens? We feel like we are repeatedly getting failures and we should be winning. That becomes suddenly our focus. Our focus doesn't remain, maybe I'm not studying hard, maybe I'm not studying the right subject, maybe I need to study something that is good, that is to my liking, and I can excel. Maybe we are not even taking the time. So once we start taking the time and putting it together, we will find that there is motivation because there is inner liking. And sometimes we do things as students or as workers to please someone. We try to please our teacher. We try to please our parents. We try to please so many people that we realize that what we are doing is not even of our liking. And we are not, when it is not of our liking, we are already frustrated inside. So then, what is the solution for that? The solution is that again we get connected to within ourselves. We check what we like, what we don't like, where can we excel, and what are the subjects or things that we should stay away. Somebody may like to watch movies, somebody may not. And if we push them to do, watch the movie, there is no motivation in them because there is not the thing of their liking. On the other hand, the other person may like a lot. So once we connect to ourselves, listening to our inner voice and finding out where we are heading, where it is taking, why should be going, and is it of our liking. Once we have taken the time to identify everything and then we start moving on, life becomes better and easier for us. Why? Because when we go inside and find out that this I like, I can do, there is a sudden motivational thing comes out. We want to try, we want to look because we think we can excel. We do research, we find out, this thing is good, it's working for us, not working for us. We take that time. Majority of the time nowadays it is so fast society that we never take the time. Within 3 seconds or 5 seconds we see something on TV, we like it and we want to be like them. I think it's too much to ask for. And when we fall, we get very, very demotivated because that goes back to actually looking for ourselves and asking us a question, did I take the time? Was that the right thing for me to do? And if I am falling and I really want to, what am I missing? Because these questions, when they get analyzed properly and handled properly, they suddenly become motivational. If the true liking is there. But if true liking is not there, it becomes hard. How does self-awareness has anything to do with motivation? Once again, as you go within yourself and you start seeing all the treasures. Which treasures? Satisfaction, peace, calm, love. These are the inner treasures. When you start connecting to those treasures, you realize that you can utilize them to your own benefit. How do you benefit them? You benefit because your mind, which is in a turbulent mode and again telling the negative things, start to calm down. Because these things, peace, love, satisfaction, all these things are powerful things. Whenever you are in a peaceful mode, you will find that we all like to stay in that environment. Even if there is one person who is very peaceful and rest of the crowd is turbulent, that peace is so powerful, can take over because it stills the mind and mind makes the noise. As the mind starts to go down, you start getting connected to your more and more within yourself. And that's where we make a connection to our inner treasures, which unless we connect to them, they are still hidden. All of us have them. Nobody comes without them. But the connection to them, the bulb is there, the electricity is there, but there has to be a connection for the bulb to come on. So as we go within and we start exploring these treasures, we start putting 2 plus 2 together, and then we realize that it is not bad. It is not so bad after all, and we shouldn't get so frustrated, but very carefully set our limits, also called goals. Goals we are always chasing. They have their positives or negatives, but at the same time we should find out what we need to do which will make us happy, which keeps us motivated, that we go and do. Sometimes I am sure we have found that we all go to work and the situation at work is not good enough for all of us, right? And we want to stay there, not stay there. But the judgment is within our hand. If we decide that we want to stay, we already know these are the things we don't like and we will be under stress. And if we quit or something, these are other negative factors that may come, and then we will be again frustrated. But at the same time, if we take the time to find out what is our purpose of life, why did we come, and what will we accomplish, and is there a nice balance that we can make, then we will be happier. And that would motivate us to go back. We will finish our, like motivation is not there, that will start to go down, because the inner treasures which give us all the positivity to move in this world will stay and will grow further and further if we are going inside within us. Especially if we take the help of someone who is enlightened, because self-awareness is something can grow further and further and beyond and beyond. But we must have a liking for it to go and sit in company of those who can help us. It may be a big inner treasure and could be within us, but unless we have explored, how do we know? We don't know. There is always first time to everything. So once our mind settles and we look at the whole situation very carefully and we give it the time, we realize that we need to get motivated due to right reasons. And if we are losing the motivation, what are the things that we are not doing so correctly to ourselves? This judgment also we need to make for us. Because generally we tell others that because of this I am not doing this, because of this. So our mind tends to keep the problem always outside to the other party. It never lets us go in and say, hey, here you may be making an error and this is how to fix it. It doesn't give the opportunity. But when we do sit in the company of those who are enlightened, this help we do get. Because somebody who is peaceful can only give peace out. The person who has grown in self-awareness will make us more and more aware. Depression and panic attacks. When this situation of lack of motivation or just not finding peace within, or our self-esteem becomes so low, then we run into depression. And what is depression? You lose the purpose of life. You want to stay away from life. We need to be in life. This is our golden opportunity to be human beings and be able to use it effectively for our own benefit. Why should we get depressed? But the depression comes in little by little because we do not understand, we do not realize what are we doing and how it is affecting our inner self. And when our inner self, at the level of heart, we are not happy, we are just not happy. And little by little, it withdraws us with our demands are too many. We want to go to many places. We want to have a lot of friends. These are all our demands, our expectations, which don't get fulfilled. And little by little, we get more and more withdrawn and we get into depression. In depression, then we try to take help of the medicines, but even if we take those, we are not happy inside. So when we start connecting to within ourselves and get our equation right, what importance should be given to which area and how, then we start to walk on the right path. And we realize it does happen when our problems start to go away. They are not going away physically, but we realize how to handle them effectively without them to going in and giving us the trouble that we feel it is giving. Oh, because this is happening, I am depressed. Oh, this is happening, I am depressed. We start going from outside to inside and say, if this is the situation, this is how it's gonna go, how we will react to that, how we are gonna manage ourselves at the level of heart through our inner awareness to get better. And as we start working on ourselves and we talk within ourselves, we start finding the answers. Why? Because from here, which was our level of expectation, that starts to go down into more acceptance. And I want to make sure that acceptance must not be misunderstood like we don't want anything. We do. We will still do the same activities, but we will realize that we are in an acceptance mode. That means if something happens to us, we are not going crazy over it, but we will find out what it is, how it's happening, and can it really damage us, because our damage that we consider is very physical. It is very much physically how we are affected, our monetary value, how that is affected, our reputation in society, how that is affected. All these things that are happening are very physical nature. Ultimately, if we think about it, this is only a lifespan of so many years. Somebody is going here, somebody is going here, somebody is going means leaving the physical body at some time. So when we start looking at that what was the purpose of our life, what we have accomplished, what we really needed to survive, and how we are moving along, it becomes a different story. And then we start pulling ourselves out of those depressions or the panic attacks, because our mind, which is so turbulent, starts to cool off. It starts to become easy on ourselves, and when it is easy and heart is coming up, suddenly we find a lot of love coming from within ourselves. Because first of all, we have to also love and admire ourselves as we are in acceptance. As soon as that happens, the next step comes, and the same peaceful radiation that we have, they start to spread out. And as they spread, the whole group starts to get better and better. Imagine when that is our situation, could we be depressed? Or could we have those kind of attacks? Not really, because we are connected to self, and self is such an immense big ocean of happiness and peace that the more we draw, the more it comes. And with that, this is how our inner self takes us out of all these negative attributes we may call, because they become turbulent for us and they drive us towards the negative side, a red side of our personality, of what we are. Although we know if we follow the path within us, the self-awareness, self-realization, and start pulling out these treasures, we will obviously going to a positive side and enjoy life more and more. And I think that is the way to look into these things with self-awareness, self-realization, and see how it works good for us and make it better for us and take it all the way where we can realize happiness in our day-to-day life. With that, I would like to end today's session. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember that happiness is not too far. I love all of you. I'm very thankful that you take the time to watch these sessions. You stream these sessions every Saturday 6 o'clock at our California time, and we upload them to our YouTube channel, which is drkors.com, youtube.com/drkors. You can leave your comments or your requests at our website, that's drkors.com. You can leave your comments also on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/drkors. I'm sure I made previously the request. These sessions are for everyone, for any age, and I am hoping that you share these, because once we spread happiness, it gets bigger and bigger. And can we all imagine a world which is all happy? Because it starts from a small place. At DKWS we always say we are starting a movement, and the movement has to be small in the beginning, but the more and more people walk in and join in, the whole movement becomes bigger. Bigger for what? To get more and more happiness. So thank you very much for watching, and then we will see you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Thanks again.